This video is for you if you're just learning about zodiac signs. Remember that your moon sign and rising sign also have an impact on you when you view any zodiac signs videos that feature your sun sign. Your rising zodiac sign reveals how other people perceive you, while your moon sign describes how you feel. Look up your birth chart if you want to learn more about your moon or rising sign. You, Taurus, are the second zodiac sign, the first fixed sign, and the first earth sign. You are the first sign in the zodiac to appreciate consistency, tolerance, and rationality. Taurus maintains what Aries has started and keeps life in all its full bloom, whereas Aries stands for the beginning of life and rebirth. The self-assurance Taurus gained from Aries has been turned into self-assurance that is firmly rooted in reality and their self-belief. A Taurus can easily assist others by becoming more grounded and in the moment by knowing when to inject a dose of common sense. Venus bestows these qualities on Taurus. Taurus and Libra are under the sway of the planet Venus. Venus is symbolized as a circle, signifying the divine spirit, placed over a cross, representing practicality and material things. The sign conveys the importance of bringing the divine to earth and fusing artistic beauty with materialistic demands. A Taurian excels in everything they do thanks to their combination of tender qualities, never forgetting to add their own artistic and creative flair to their best work. They can be excellent painters, cooks, lovers, and gardeners because of this. Each sign has a unique modality. In a technical sense, the modality is similar to the sign's operational mode. It is the way the sign expresses itself and distinguishes itself from other signs. There are three modalities: cardinal, fixed, or mutable. A fixed quality occurs in the middle of the season, and fixed signs have been considered to be consistent, steadfast, dependable, stubborn, and change-resistant. Out of these modalities, the fixed quality of the Taurus is shared by Aquarius, Leo, and Scorpio. The Taurus, which is in the midst of the season, stands for constancy and stability. They will oppose anything that even marginally threatens their sense of security and stability. The familiar and safe is what gives them a sense of security. So when a Taurus perceives a threat to their financial stability, their home, their relationships, their family, or anything else, they have a powerful grip over. A Taurus will then perceive that person as a threat and use all of their resources to try to eliminate them and drive them away. As a result, when someone says Tauruses harbor grudges, they are not necessarily harboring any. Only if you pose a threat to their sense of security, rational thought, or routine will they harbor resentment toward you. Let's briefly discuss the importance of security to a Taurus before moving on to the next topic. A Taurus believes that their security is centered on their home, their finances, and their daily routine. But a Taurus shouldn't limit their attention to just that. Taurus's life goal is to maintain equilibrium within their sense of security. Taurus has to learn security within themselves and how to maintain that security. Building a foundation off of self-love is the best way for a Taurus to feel secure inside. Venus rules both Taurus and Libra for a reason, and I think Taurus needs the equilibrium that Libra possesses. Taurus employs Venus's aspects for outer reasons, but Taurus also requires the grounding effects of Libra and Venus's aspects. Being comfortable in having the capacity to love oneself is one Taurus's main struggles. Would a Taurus still love themselves as much as they claim to, if they had only internal security instead of external security? In my previous video about Aries, I make a similar statement. If you simply think about your sun sign, which is Taurus, you might picture the sign Taurus as a young child. Because you are the second zodiac sign, you lack some of the traits of the other signs of the zodiac. Despite the fact that you are logical and grounded, each of the 12 zodiac signs can learn from the others. You are the first sign to value rationality. The second sign of the zodiac, Taurus, is then given the aspects from Aries. Therefore, Taurus must study Gemini. All things considered, each sign gains from, and is taught by the others. I've now briefly discussed your zodiac sign, the modality family you belong to, and the planet that rules Taurus. Let's go back to when you were a baby and how your Taurus qualities evolved over the course of your life. A Taurus baby might occasionally be quiet, reserved, and even shy. Parents or guardians who have raised a Taurus child have learned to take into account both the emotional and intellectual traits of this sign. Taurus kids sometimes struggle to verbalize their emotions. Instead, it can be observed in the way they act and relate to their parents, other family members, and even other young members of their social network. In order for them to feel comfortable and be able to find comfort inside themselves, you could find it necessary to occasionally give them their own space. A Taurus child has a good chance of becoming a mother's child. Most kids have a bond with their mothers, but Taurus infants adore their moms. If one of your parents or guardians is a Taurus, they may be more capable to relate to your characteristics. They will recall what it was like to be a child of an earth sign, and how it can occasionally seem as though no one in the entire world really comprehends the thoughts or feelings you are experiencing, which can be very beneficial for parents, parenting their Taurian child. It will make it easier for them to connect with past experiences and comprehend how their child could think and why they might occasionally behave in certain ways. If they don't experience the same connection to their mothers as they are naturally familiar with, Taurus is one of the zodiac signs to develop mommy issues. A Taurus child possesses a variety of bold traits. They are warm, caring, emotional, and obstinate. They practically were meant to be family-oriented individuals from the beginning. They may feel a strong bond with their mothers, but they adore everyone in their family simply because they are related by blood. Since kids enjoy listening and adhering to the rules, teaching them a lesson won't be challenging. Taurus children are often quite emotionally stable and tranquil as long as everything is done according to their wishes, and they receive an adequate amount of love and attention. When their routine is interrupted, they can quickly become violent and destructive until their parents give in and give them what they want. It is the parents' or guardian's duty to refrain from supporting this behavior. They can achieve this by talking logically with their children. It's critical to present all the facts and implications and to explain everything logically. Correcting the kids appropriately when they act out also needs to be required. This needs to be done in order to restrain these angry outbursts and teach Taurus children to communicate logically. Taurus boys typically have the most love for their mothers in the entire world. Compared to any other child born under a different zodiac sign, this link may be considerably stronger with a Taurus boy. This is due to Taurians' strong desire for love and compassion, which gives them great pleasure and happiness. They have self-assurance, and it all stems from the love their mothers showed them when they were young. Although a Taurus boy's upbringing might be improved, his mother's affection is what can truly make a difference. Girls that are a Taurus are excellent listeners. They enjoy hearing stories, especially ones that were told to or by their parents when they were children. If the Taurus girl does not like something, no amount of parental nagging will ever convince her otherwise. You cannot trick them, because their acute minds will almost immediately expose your deception. Because of their tenacity and determination, they are unlikely to be persuaded to change their behavior by the parents' inventive talents and tactics. Both genders are often well-behaved children who have the potential to develop into successful adults. Taurus. Let's discuss your given element and how it influences your life. Taurus is not only a fixed sign, but also a member of the earth element. Its aversion to change makes it the most stable of the 12 zodiac signs. Although some could characterize this as obstinacy, Taurus is steadfast in all of its splendor for a good reason. All of the other elements have the earth element as its center and has the strongest support system. It exists to aid people in achieving all materialistic aims, objectives, and ambitions. One may clearly observe how Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus succeed at work while also making the most of life's joy while examining these signs. They show us how to handle our money and achieve their highest goals. They are not only dedicated and persistent, but they also lead a sober lifestyle free of drama and unneeded emotional complication. Additionally, they are less susceptible to peer pressure. Earth signs can stick to the same routine for years because they feel at ease in it. They frequently fear any changes that would upset their routine and upend their life. To retain the sense of security they have built for themselves, they would rather accept a life where they don't feel emotionally, intellectually, or financially fulfilled or valued enough. As you mature and begin to comprehend who you are, Taurus, you'll begin to understand that you tend to be terrified of change. You enjoy having control over your life and the environment. Taurus, you like a stable, predictable life where everything happens according to schedule and expectation. Taurus's fear of change is affected by their firm belief in structure and their constant desire to be in a situation where they can anticipate what will happen next. This will explain why it's difficult for them to change their minds since they are unsure of how to handle an unexpected result. However, this trait can work against Taurians more than it does for others around them. Taurians are accustomed to second-guessing everything they do and every new activity they take up, but they can reduce their overthinking by giving all the changes they make a more significant reason for existing. Taurians are not complex beings, to be fair. They have very clear minds and approach life with a great deal of grit and ambition. Tauruses have a very strong sense of belief in all they hold dear. They can become your closest friend and most dependable companion if you treat them well. Anyone who has them in their life is lucky because they are caring and compassionate. Because Venus rules Taurus, both women and men are by nature sympathetic. As I mentioned at the outset, Taurus uses Venus's aspects for external purposes. Let's discuss the variations in how Taurus approach romantic relationships in more detail. A healthy Taurus man is the type of person you can't forget. A Taurian man is unlike anybody else you'll meet in terms of strength, loyalty, trustworthiness, honesty, tenderness, patience, and generosity. Taurus men will go above and beyond to make their partners feel special and adored. He takes his time because he wants to invest fully in the relationship. It always takes a lot of time for him to feel confident enough to trust their partner. Thus, he would never rush into the sexual component of the relationship before making sure he connects intellectually with their partner. He anticipates his partner doing the same in return for going all in. Despite his ability to be kind and tender, if his partner had deceived him, he would not hesitate to become utterly implacable. He is quiet and consistent by nature, yet after settling down with a spouse, he can get too comfortable in his stoicism. A Taurus woman, however, is a little unique. Bringing out a Taurian woman's amorous side is the best way to win her over. She'll want someone to take their time since she wants them to continue carefully and persistently courting her even after they start dating her. She understands that the cerebral and intellectual connection comes before the sexual link. Just like the Taurian man, therefore she will rarely rush into a physical relationship without considering the other parts. Feeling loved and secure is one of her top priorities, and this calls for open communication and transparent honesty. She is not impressed by false pretenses or games, and she won't hesitate to call you out on them. She does, however, value both modest and extravagant displays of affection. After all, she is a descendant of her goddess Venus. She would readily surrender her love, body, and mind to her companion if she felt secure enough. However, she would only show her lover affection if they remained devoted to her. A Taurian woman's amorous and sensitive side does not make her weak. Instead, she continues to be one of the Zodiac signs that is the most sensible, dependable, and strong. She will be prepared to dedicate herself to a lifetime with the ideal spouse and make plans for a life filled with children and other blessings, but it will take a lot of time and patience to bring out all of her best qualities. She is sometimes reserved, closed off, and rigid in her ways. If you happen to be born between April 16th through April 22, then you're an Aries-Taurus cusp. And if you happen to be born between May 17 through May 23, you are on the cusp of Taurus and Gemini. Being on the cusp implies you are influenced by either Aries or Gemini, the signs next to Taurus, in addition to your own Taurus traits. Starting with the Taurus-Gemini cusp. If you were born on the cusp, you have a lot of vigor and enthusiasm, but you frequently indulge excessively and lack the ability to know when to quit. You may experience a mental and physical toll as a result of this conduct, leaving you exhausted. The best strategy for avoiding the impending burnout is to intentionally exercise self-control. Talk to your inner voice constantly to stop yourself from acting on your first desired thought. You will eventually be able to control this detrimental tendency. You were born on the cusp of power. If you were born on the Aries-Taurus cusp, you are strong and in charge. Yet your fiery attitude frequently gets you into trouble since you can't just pause and reflect. Despite your best efforts, you can frequently annoy individuals around you with your thoughtless behavior. Even your closest friends and family may drift away as a result. However, if you want to make sure you make the most of your abilities, remember to practice kindness. The video I made on discovering everything there is to know about an Aries can teach you more about the Aries-Taurus cusp. Following our discussion about being born on a Taurus cusp and the impact Aries or Gemini can have, let's move on. Let's discuss the greatest flaws and virtues of a Taurus and where those characteristics originated. Taurus people frequently undervalue themselves. This is to be expected from a sign that never gives up until it achieves its goals and constantly strives for the best. A Taurus has to take stock of their success and recognize how far they've come. Because of the effort and commitment they put into their life, they are much envied. A Taurus possesses a lot of discipline and responsibility because naturally they want to advance in life effectively. Taurus, don't assume that in order to succeed, everything must be completely original. Even when you've already accomplished a lot, it's never a smart idea to reject the difficult lessons you've learned. If you don't value your own accomplishments, how can you expect others to? When I first mentioned the premise of security, I said this: to thrive, a Taurus needs to feel secure inside of themselves. Furthermore, it demonstrates how a Taurus interacts with others. Although a Taurus may not always be seen as being outgoing, this does not necessarily indicate that they aren't. Their tendency to live alone at times is a fantastic asset. They are flexible and capable of completing tasks without assistance from others. When you establish friends with a Taurus, they will be devoted to you as long as you treat them with respect and admiration. Do not misinterpret their loyalty for frailty. No matter what you get yourself into, they will support you. But if you ever take their friendship for granted, they won't think twice about it. Their devotion to the material world is one issue that Taurus people suffer with. A Taurus needs to take a moment and consider their possessions, whether they are modest or priceless, when they are struggling with low self-esteem. In either case, a Taurus needs to strike a balance between what they value and what they consider to be less significant. Taurus's weakness is that they may be very possessive, whether it be with regard to other people or material belongings. They like to make a claim to ownership of what is rightfully theirs. This characteristic can be smothering to their partners in partnerships. Because they lack confidence in themselves and are unable to recognize other people's achievements, Taurians tend to be possessive. They overemphasize ownership because it either makes them feel inferior or insufficient as people. If you are in a relationship with a Taurian, don't interpret it as a lack of trust. Otherwise, you won't be able to stay together. The only relationships in which possessive Taurians may thrive are those in which their partners can tolerate being their extensions and become a part of them, and those partnerships are unhealthy. In addition to being possessive with people, Taurians are also possessive with their goods and are reluctant to share their riches or assets with others. Possessive Taurians often come out as ungrateful and greedy despite their skill with money. Overall, Taurus people can anticipate that the majority of their friends will seek for counsel on matters of the heart or work. Their best ally is their common sense, along with their ability to multitask and analyze situations while moving. They may view the issue objectively when emotions are separated from particular events. They now have a more convincing viewpoint as a result. When things are getting out of control and emotions are running high, a Taurus can keep you grounded in reason and logic. A Taurus is passionate about protecting their loved ones at any means. Instead of viewing it as a chore like many other indicators, they find enjoyment in it. By giving someone their space or giving them what they need, a Taurus knows how to avoid making someone feel uncomfortable or unhappy. They don't mind carrying the burdens of others, even if it means doing so by themselves.